Hello everyone, I hope you guys are doing well. So today we're going to go over these problems here as review for your final. So for each of these problems, there are three goals: finding the length of the line, writing a linear equation, and identifying if this is a 90 degree triangle. So why don't we take a look at the first one, and let's first find the length of the line. So in order for me to find the length of the line, I have to see that this length of the line is just the hypotenuse of this right triangle. This line is just the hypotenuse of this right triangle. So let's just go ahead and find the length of these legs, because if I find the length of these legs, then I can find the length of this hypotenuse. So I'm going to count here. So this is going to be 6, right? 0 to 6 is going to be 6 units, and 7, right? So 5, 6, 7. So this is 7 units. This is 6 units. Therefore, this is going to be 13 high for this leg. And let's take a look at this one. This is 4 units long, okay, in the x-axis. That's 4 units, and that's 9 units. So 4 plus 9 is 13. Therefore, excuse me. So the leg 1 is 13, leg 2 is 13. This means that this is a 90 degree triangle, and the reason being is because this is same leg, right, or the same length of the leg, and this is a right triangle. Therefore, all I know is that this length then must be 13 square root of 2. And once again, the reason why is because the conjecture goes like this. If this is a 45 degree and that's a 90 degree angle, this means that this right here, if this is 13 and that's 13, then the hypotenuse must be 13 square root of 2, right? This is the conjecture that we've derived in our previous problem here, or previous lessons. So this describes the legs, right, and the length of the line, so I'm good with that right there. So now let's go ahead and take a look at my second question. Write in y equals mx plus b. So let's take a look. So as you can see, my slope then is going to be, I'm going to be going down first for my rise. So I go here and I go down. So that's going to be negative 13, right? So my rise is negative 13, and my run is going to be from here to here, and that's going to be positive 13. So as you can see, my slope is going to be negative 13 over 13, which is just negative 1, right? So then let's find the y-intercept. So I'm going to use blue for the y-intercept. The y-intercept right here is positive 3. Right, so that's the y-intercept. The y-intercept is 0, 3. So my b is going to be 3. So that's my slope, negative 1, and my y-intercept is 3. Therefore, my linear equation is going to be y equals mx plus b, and y is equal to m, which is negative 1, x plus b, which is 3. So this is my linear equation. So now what we're going to do is we're going to set the constraints for the line. So as you can see, it goes less than negative 4, but less than negative 9. Or so greater than negative 4, but less than 9. Greater than negative 4, but less than 9. So that is the constraints for this line. So I'm going to do negative 4, greater than negative 4. X is greater than negative 4, but less than 9. And voila. So that is that for number 2. And this is a 90 degree triangle. And the reason why is because the leg length are equivalent. Okay. So this is the answer for this problem. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, let's take a look at this one. First thing, is this a 90 degree triangle? No, and the reason why is because the legs are not equivalent. Now let's go ahead and find the length of this line. And in order for me to find the length of this line, I just find the hypotenuse, the length of the hypotenuse, because the hypotenuse is the same thing as the length of this line. So I'm gonna do, let's count this from here. So this is 10 units, from 0 to 10, that's 10, and 0 to 4 is 4, so that's gonna be 14 units. So it's gonna be 14 units up. And then from here, it's gonna be 1, and then that's 6, so 5, 6, so this is gonna be 6, and 1, so this is gonna be 7. And therefore, I do a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. So I'm going to use the Pythagorean Theorem. A squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. And then it's going to be, I'm going to put these in, like so, equals c squared. We don't know what c is, so we're going to put that in green. So we're going to do a squared, which is 14, and then b squared, which is 7, and then c squared, which is we don't know yet, so we're going to put a c right there, and then we're going to put a c right there, which is also the hypotenuse. So we're going to do 14 times 14, okay? So 14 times 14, I'm going to pull out my calculator here. So we're going to do 14 times 14, which is 196. So we're going to do 196 plus 7 times 7, 7 squared, 7 times 7, which is 49. 49 is equal to c squared. Okay. So now we're going to do 196 plus 49. So 196 plus 49 is 245. 245 is equal to c squared. Okay. So that is what I have so far. And then from here, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to take the square root of both sides to see if I can simplify it. Simplify it. And so now my new simplified form is going to be 245 is equal to c, because square root of c squared is just c, because the square root cancels that square. So now we're going to have to simplify this 245. So I'm going to just bring it over here, 245. So 5 goes into 245. So I'm going to do 245. So 245 divided by 5, it's going to be 49. So it's going to be 49. And then 49 is 7 and 7. So my new problem, or rewritten this radical, is going to be 5 times 7 times 7, which is the same thing as 5 times 7 squared, which is the same thing as 5 times 7 squared, which is the same thing as 5 times 7. And therefore, simplified form is 7 square root of 5. 7 square root of 5 is equal to c. So that is my my c. Okay, so I'm gonna bring this a little bit up here so we can take a look at the linear equation now. So we just found the length of the hypotenuse, or the length of the leg, or length of this line, which is 7 square root of 5. So I can just write 7 square root of 5 is the length. Now, we're going to write the linear equation now. So it's going to be y is equal to mx plus b. So let's do 14. So rise is 14. So rise is 14. Positive 14, right? Because it's going up. So that's going to be positive 14. And then we're going to have the run, which is going to be positive 7, because it's going in the right direction. Positive 7. And so we're going to do y is equal to m, which is rise over run, which is 14 over 7. 14 over 7. X plus b, which is my y-intercept. So let's take a look. -5, -6, -7, -8. So that point right there is 0, -8. Actually, I'm going to do that in blue. So it's going to be right there. 0, negative. That looks like a little heart. 0, -8. And then, so my b is going to be -8. So if I were to simplify this whole thing, it's going to be 14 divided by 7 is just 2. 2x plus -8. And since this is a positive slope, since it's going up, it's going to be a positive slope. And my y-intercept is here. And this is my equation for this one. So now let's take a look at the constraint for the x values. So the constraint is going to be greater than -1, but less than 6. Right? So greater than -1, but less than 6. So it's going to be greater than -1, but less than 6. Okay? So that is the first two problems. Now let's go on to the next one. All right, now let's take a look at this problem here. So we got this line created by 2 points, -210 and 618. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by drawing this graph here. So I went right here and I plotted the points. So this right here, this red point is going to be -210. And then that blue point is going to be 618. 618. So that's 618, and that's going to be -210. So -210, -210, and 618. 15, 16, 17, 16, 17, 18 right there. So we plotted these points correctly. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line between these two to show that I'm going to draw the line. Okay, here we go. Voila. So that is going to be my line that I'm going to find the length of and also find the equation for. So now let's take a look. So I'm going to just do the linear equation first because I just think it's going to be a little bit easier for this one. I'm going to adjust this a little bit like that. So the rise is going to be, it's going to be from here to there. Okay, and then my run is going to be from here to here. Okay, so let's count. So that's going to be starting from 10 all the way to 18, right? So 10 to 18, that's just going to be 8 plus 8. You could count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And my run is going to be 2, that's 2 units, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's also going to be 8. So as you can see, then automatically, let's just do the Pythagorean Theorem because I already know that this is a right triangle because the lengths are the same. So this is going to be 8 square root of 2 is going to be the length of the leg. Pretty simple, huh? And then now what we're going to do is we're going to find the linear equation for this one. So I'm going to first go ahead and write my equation. Y equals mx plus b, and then my m is my rise over run, 8 over 8, so it's going to be 8 over 8 x plus b, which is right here 11, 12. So my y-intercept is going to be 0 and 12. It's going to be 12, and then if I simplify it, it's going to be y is equal to 1x plus 12 is my equation. And the constraints are going to be -2, right? So that's -2, greater than -2, but less than 6. Less than 6. Greater than -2, but less than 6. So I'm going to do greater than -2, but less than 6. Voila. That is my length and my equation. And is this a right triangle? Yes, because the legs are of the same length. Okay, let's go to the next one. So the line created by 2 points, -15, -5, -10, -4, And this one, I want you guys to show your work algebraically, okay? So let's go ahead and plot these points. So I got here negative 15, negative 5. So I got negative 15, negative 15, negative 5. So let's see if this is right. So that's right there, negative 5. And you got negative 15. Perfect. And then you got negative 10, negative 4. So we're going to do negative 10 and negative 4. So negative 10, negative 4. Voila. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to find the rise over run. And then we can find the length of the leg in a second. So here we go. I'm going to draw the line between these two. So it's going to be like that. And something like that. Okay. So I drew the leg, and then this is also the hypotenuse, right? So I'm just going to use the rise over run just to go ahead and do that just so that we can. Okay, I'm gonna make that yellow. Here we go. I hope everybody's lives are going well. I feel like I didn't crack my voice as much today, which is pretty good. I don't know why. Sometimes it just cracks so hard. Here we go. Okay, here we go. You know, these things sometimes get so frustrating because I thought I like selected it and it didn't select. And it's like, oh my gosh, it didn't select again. Okay, anyways, we're just gonna go with this. Okay. All right, so let's take a look. So we got 1 and 2, so that's plus 2, rise. And then my run is gonna be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 10 plus 10. Okay. So I know that my rise is 2 over 10. The question is, what is my y-intercept, right? So let's go ahead and find the y-intercept first, okay? Let's do the linear equation first. So I'm going to go again 2 and 10 because that's the slope. So I'm going to go 2 and 10. So that's 5. No, that's 2. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units, because these two squares is actually referring to just 1, and then I gotta go up 2. So, and this one is going up by 2 here. Oh, actually, no, this is going up by 1, 2. So if you guys see, it's going from negative 5 to negative 4, right? So this is actually just plus 1. Plus 1, like that. Okay, so it's going up by, actually this is incorrect too, this is going by 5s, okay? So that's my fault. So as you can see, from negative 10 to negative 5, so that's 5 units, right, difference. So that's 5 unit difference. If you guys see from the y-intercept, it's only 1 unit difference, right? So let's take a look. So that's 1, so from here, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So that's 5 units, and then that's from here to here. So we go all over here, that's 1. So that's 1 right there, okay? So that's how that works, and then that's gonna be 1 plus 1 plus 5 again, and then we're gonna go 1 again. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Look how perfect that lines up, right? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and draw this line right here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and draw the rest of the line like so, and voila, we have our full line all the way up to that, right? So I already know if I were to write my equation, it's gonna be y equals mx plus b. My m is going to be my rise over run, which is 1 over 5. And my b is going to be negative 2. Here, 0, negative 2, negative 2. And so my final equation is going to be y is equal to 1 over 5x plus negative 2. Voila. Okay. All right, so that's that. Yes. All right, now let's go ahead and find the length of this line. Okay, so we actually don't have to find the length of this line, this entire thing. We just have to find the length between this and this, because I'm looking at the line created by these 2 points, from here to here. So how do I find that length? So that's leg 1 squared plus leg 2 squared is equal to c squared right here. So that's going to be my c. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and, oh, actually, even before that, let me show you the equation way to do that, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose a point, so negative 15, negative 5. So I'm going to choose this one. By the way, I don't have to choose this one. I can choose any other point and it will still work. But I'm just going to choose this one for now, okay? So negative 15, negative 5. And then my slope, which is 1 over 5. My slope, which is 1 over 5. M is equal to m is equal to 1 over 5. Okay. All right, so these, this is what I'll need. I just need a point and a slope, and I can find the equation and the y-intercept. So let's take a look. So I'm going to make this All right, so let's just make this x, and then let's make this y. So we got y equals mx plus b. My y goes in here, right? Negative 5. So it's going to be negative 5 is equal to my m, which is 1 over 5, x, which is going to be negative 15, negative 15, plus b. Okay. So if we take a look here, this seems a little bit off here. Negative 15 seems right to me right here. Oh, sorry, it's 1 over 5, not 1 over 2. My bad. Okay. So what we're going to do is negative 5 is equal to 1 over 5, which is the slope, times negative 15, which is the x coordinate right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to solve it out. So we're going to do negative 5 is equal to 1 over 5 times negative 15 is negative 3. But if you want to show, I'll show you the work for that. Negative 15 in fraction form is just that. And then 5 times, because negative 15 is the same thing as negative 15 over 1. 1 times negative 15 is negative 15. 5 times 1 is just 5 plus b. And then negative 5 is equal to negative 15 divided by 5 is negative 3 plus b. And then we add 3 on both sides. And then negative 5 plus 3 is negative 2 is equal to b. Voila, which is negative 2, like so. So I used the algebraic method to solve the y equals mx plus b equation. Okay, now let's go ahead and do the next one. Let's find the length of this leg, okay? So we're gonna write a squared plus b squared equals c squared. A squared is equal to c squared. And then a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. So a squared is 1, b is 5, right? So it's going to be 1, 5, and c is going to be that c right there. So 1 squared is just 1, 5 squared is 25, c squared is that, 1 plus 25 is 26 is equal to c squared, and I'm going to take the square root on both sides. And then we're going to do square root of 26 is equal to c. And then we're going to simplify that. I'm going to be 2 times 18, 9 times 2, 3 times 3. So rewrite that is going to be 2 times 2 times 3 times 3, which is going to be also equal to 2 squared times 3 squared. What? That doesn't work. Does that work? 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 times 18. 9 times 2. That seems weird. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times... Is 2 times 18? 2 times 18 is 26. Right? Let me see. No, it's not. That's 36. Oh, my fault. So 2 times 26 is 13. 13. I am making mistakes like crazy today. So 2013. And as you can see, 2 times 13 cannot be more simplified, right? So the length is just going to be square root of 26. Yep. Okay, so that is that. Yeah, and that's that. So it cannot be more simplified. So my length of this leg, or this hypotenuse, is going to be square root of 26. Square root of 26. Okay. So now that's that. All right, let's go to our last problem, the craziest problem of all. So we got negative 220, negative 35. So let's look at that one. So negative 220. So that seems right. Negative 220 over negative 35. So it seems about right. 35. And then negative 415. Negative 415. And negative 105. Negative 105. Okay. So that's that. All right. I'm going to draw the line from this point on to that point. Okay. And I'm going to do the linear equation first. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and do the linear equation for this one. This one's going to be fun. I can already feel it. Okay, so let's take a look. I'm going to find the rise between these ones, okay? So the rise first is going to go from here to here. So the rise is going to go from here to about like right here, it seems like. Okay. And then my run is going to be from here to there. And voila. Okay. So let's find this length, right? And then we can't necessarily count because it's so crazy. But if we look at this number here, 105 to 35, right? I can actually find the length of these two lines. So I know that the y-intercept, or those y-axis point, y-coordinate, is at negative 105, and it's going to be at 35. So if I calculate these two, if I subtract 35 from 105, so I go 105 minus 35, that's going to give me 70, which means that this is going to be plus 70, right? It's going up that much. So it was at 105, it's going up to 35. 35 plus 70 is 105, right? Just kind of ignoring the negative signs for now. And then let's take a look at this one. So how do I find this length, right? So I just go from negative 415 to 220. So I go from like negative 415 minus 220. And that's going to give me 195. So it's going to be 195 units to the run. Okay, so my rise is 70, my run is 195, so plus 195. And that's how we're going to do it, right? And if I continue to draw this line, and this line is probably not going to be as straight as the previous one, but if I continue to draw this line, it's going to land like somewhere like right there, right? If I keep the integrity of the line, is going to be like somewhere like there. Yeah, something like that, right? And my y-intercept is going to be somewhere right here, okay? But we don't know what that is because it's kind of crazy with the numbers. So let's go ahead and figure this out. So I already know my equation for the y-intercept. Y equals mx plus b. All right, I'm gonna choose this point here. Let's choose this point because it's smaller. Okay, and my slope is gonna be m is equal to rise over run 70 over 195. 70 over 195. Okay, so I'm gonna make this my x, make this my y. So y is negative 35. So y is negative 35. So that's gonna be negative 35. Negative 35 is equal to m, which is 70 over 195. And if I simplify this, let's try to simplify this a little bit. I'm gonna divide the top and the bottom by 5. Let's see what we get. And then 70 divided by 5. 70 divided by 5 is 14. 14, and then 195. 195 divided by 5, that'll be 39. 39. And I don't think that can be even more simplified. Yeah. So my slope is 14 over 39. So 14 over 39. 14 over 39. X. My x is negative 220. Negative 220. What a different color. Blue. And my y should be orange. Y should be orange. Okay, and then my x is negative 220. Negative 220. And then my b. We don't know what the b is. Okay, so let's go ahead and then do this one right here. Okay, so we're gonna do negative 35 is equal to 14 over 39 times negative 220. So this is probably gonna be decimal. So let's try 14 divided by 39. Is that crazy decimal? Times negative 220. And that's gonna be about 78.97. I'm gonna say it's about 78.97. So it's gonna be 78.97 plus b, right? And then in order for me to get rid of this, we're going to add 78.97. 78.97 on both sides. Remember, this is gonna be an approximation, right? Because we don't know for sure. So we're gonna do 78.97 plus negative 35. Plus negative 35, and that's gonna be 43.97. So that's gonna be about 43.97, and approximately that's our b. And it makes sense, right? Look, it's about 43.97, so that's about like 50 right in the middle. That's gonna be like 25 here, so that's about like I would say that's like 43.97. That makes sense to me. So 43.97. Okay. So if I were to rewrite this equation, it's going to be y equals mx plus b. Y is equal to m, which is 14 over 39. 14 over 39. X plus b, which is 43.97. Which is 43.97. So that is the and then let's go take a look at the constraints. So it's greater than negative 14 but less than negative 220. Okay, so this is the line that we're talking about, right? So greater than negative 14, negative 414, but less than negative 220. So it's gonna be greater than negative 415, negative 415. But less than negative 220 are the constraints. Okay, now finally, let's go ahead and find the length of this line. So I'm gonna do a squared plus b squared equals c squared. B squared is equal to c squared. And then a is gonna be 70 squared. A is gonna be 70. B is going to be 195, and C is going to be some value, and this is going to be literally insane. So let's do 70 squared. 70 squared, 4,900, plus 195 squared, 38,025 is equal to c squared. So we're gonna plus 4,900, and that's gonna give us 42,925 is equal to c squared, and then we take the square root on both sides, voila, and then my answer is gonna be 42,925 is equal to c. That's my final answer. Obviously, if you wanted to simplify this, you can, but I think I'm pretty satisfied with not simplifying it. So if you didn't simplify it, that's fine. So that is the, that's the whole review. Okay. All right. Well, I hope that helped, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Okay. Bye-bye.